Hey,
It's like, I
hey,
don't know.
hey.
Are we ready? Because it's like Monday, and my body's like, yes, and my mind's like, maybe 5 more minutes.
How about 30 more minutes? No. Hi, guys. Welcome to Open Mic with Allie and Michelle. And we are excited to have you here on this MAGA Monday. We're going to talk about so many different things today. All of the things that happened that we didn't cover because we don't have 2 hours. We only have 1 hour. But all of the lovely things that occurred over the weekend. It seems like we just cannot ever get a break with this Trump administration. And it's not like I want to because, I mean,
Right. It's
winning,
all
right?
winning. It's all winning. Absolutely. Allie's correct. We're going to talk about, Trump spoke out actually about moving the Space Force out of Colorado to down here on the Gulf Coast in Alabama. But he spoke really about Tina Peters and the Tina Peters case. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to hit on the topic of what took place in Charlotte. A lot of other media organizations are skipping this altogether. You're going to hear it right here on Open Mic. And we're also going to talk about Trump at the U.S. Open, which was kind of fun. He got a warm reception. So
I think
packed show today.
tennis got a whole lot more views than what they intended at the U.S. Open because everybody follows Trump. He's like leading culture in a new way. He's bringing back nostalgia. So it's amazing. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Keep it locked here. We are live on all social media platforms, including Spotify. So thank you so much, guys. Make sure you chat. You slide into our chat, not our DMs, because we don't answer those, but we will talk to you on chat. So if you're feeling froggy enough, go ahead and leave. All right, let's open that mic.
Coffee again.
Red hat stays on. Red hat stays on. Red hat stays on. Taking back our freedom, back to where we started. We're wearing our red hat tonight. It takes more than just a feeling. Oh, better be believing, and America's gonna be home.
What do you do when they try to cancel you? MAGA Nation, we cancel proof. My red hat stays on. My red hat stays on. You know I love God, but in Trump I trust. November 5th, you gon' ride with us? Our red hat stays on. Our red hat stays on. It's the mayor MAGA, but the RNC King. 2024, freedom gon' ring. This the red, white, and blue. I'm still fighting for each one of you. And keep your red hat on.
What do you do when they come for you? Freedom's what you gotta lose. Red hat stays on. Red hat stays on. What do you do when the gas is high?
One incident this morning and a wardrobe change.
That's not how David works in the control room. I'm kidding. We love you, David.
We love you, David. We're so grateful. We're grateful for you. Allie, how was your weekend, girl?
It was good. Good. It was good.
Had a
Just
child's
hanging
birthday
out.
over the weekend.
Yeah, it was my son's 12th birthday. He's no longer a little kid. He's a preteen.
Oh,
Oh,
preteen.
Lord. Yep.
And he is a doll.
Pre-teenage years.
Happy
Mhm.
birthday, Javi. We love that. We love that. Over the weekend, we said last week, of course, we had a dynamite show with Brandon Strzok on Friday, but we alluded to earlier in the week that obviously India met with Russia and China. And so I think, the Trump administration is kind of keeping a side eye, they're giving him side eye over there of what in the world is going on. Here is a warning, if you will, that POTUS, President of the United States, posted on his social media. Take a look at this. He's saying, first of all, everybody wants the hostages home. This is directed towards the Middle East. There, I didn't realize in the Middle East that Israel has really accepted Trump's terms as far as kind of a ceasefire and hey, let's just get along. Hamas has not accepted it. Obviously, Hamas is a terrorist organization that's largely funded by Iran. So he's saying
taken over Palestine. So
yeah, and this is his last warning. He says there will be consequences to not accepting this. This is my last warning. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I think
I like when he ends things like that. And I really don't know why Hamas is testing President Trump. I mean, you literally saw what we are capable of, and the flex that we currently have militarily. So we are no
We're the
longer
Department of War now.
Defense, right? We are the Department of War. So you can try us if you want to, but it's not going to end the way you think it will. We are definitely, if you want to, we could do the FO portion of FAFO. So I think that's important for Hamas to remember. You
Yeah.
guys are this big. We are bigger. And so, with that being said, the president is going to, I guess, host a press conference. If it hasn't started already, usually they're late, but
They're right
it's
at,
supposed to start
yeah.
at 10. President is to call on Americans to pray for the nation as America's 250th birthday approaches. One nation under God, and that's how we should be.
Woo.
So,
Well, we'll make sure
I'm
we keep an eye on that. I'm sure Allie's got that on her radar there as he comes to the podium. We'll keep an eye out for it. I do want to show this second post because he was on a roll. He's been on a roll. Take a look at what Trump posted. He said, "It looks like we've lost India and Russia to the deepest, darkest China." Remember, this is coming off the heels of having Putin right here in Alaska meeting in a breaking meeting with Trump. So he knows where Trump stands. We had B-52 bombers flying over just as a show of force. May they have a long and prosperous future together, President Donald Trump. It sounds like, oh.
like, is that tongue in cheek? Like, what exactly are we hoping for, President Trump? Are you being silly here? What is going on?
I mean,
I kind
listen.
of wish foreign affairs would focus more on this as well.
Yeah.
It seems like there are more people that are focused on Iraqi freedom and Iranian freedom than figuring out what is actually going on with Iran and not with Iran, but with Russia and China and
Right.
India. I mean, all three of these together. And then they're meeting with North Korea. Like there are some things that are a little bit. I think we need to focus more on.
You know, and there's one thing about, you know, having to have diplomacy and meet with people that maybe, you know, whether it's across the aisle or across the ocean, that maybe you might not see eye to eye with. I think
Right.
Trump demonstrated that beautifully by having both Zelensky and Putin, not together, but separately. He met with them. This, though, in the shadow of that, seems like a thumb in the eye to the United States. You know, I don't know. It will be interesting. I love how he kind of grouped them all together because he's kind of saying you're guilty by association. You know how we feel about China, India. We've helped you a lot. India's long been kind of a little more neutral, but if y'all want to play together and lay down together, y'all can have fleas together. And maybe that's kind
of a bright future together, and the emphasis is on bright because you'll see flashes of light. That's all I'll say. Our military is very capable of, and usually, I mean, they always hit their targets. So, as we've seen with the nuclear
and the narco boat,
and that narco boat for sure. So I think
you won't see me in the ocean after that.
I really think that these countries, these leaders of these countries need to, I don't know, take heed. They need to tread lightly. I don't necessarily understand what's going on here, but they all seem to be abiding by Trump's tariffs and like the things that he's put forward. So
that's what I was going to ask you, Allie. Do you think this is a situation where, you know, maybe the phone rings in the Oval Office and is like, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Maybe. It wasn't what it looked like."
I don't know. Maybe
it's not how it looks.
It's not what this. We gonna go there. It's not what it looked like. Like, bro, it's you. What you mean? There's it literally a picture. Like, so you're just gonna deny?
Well, take the picture out of context. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Take the picture out of context. Look, we're not gonna go there. We're gonna leave that off to the side.
Well, if we're getting your blood boiling a little bit, America, it's because we're kind of we're on the uphill climb for this next story. You aren't going to believe this. Well, if you've been following the show, you probably are going to believe it, but it should still make your blood boil. We elect people, whether it's on the state level or the national level, to go in and do the will of the people, right?
Yeah. Well,
there shouldn't be a person.
That's what we think they do.
Well, allegedly, there shouldn't be a person from sea to shining sea that appreciates the Chinese and the CCP flooding our country with fentanyl, and basically a synthetic version of fentanyl, not like a medical grade that they might use during surgeries or whatever. This is a poison. It's an infiltration through our southern border, thanks to Biden and Harris when they left it wide open. So when you have people come together congressionally in the House in Washington, D.C., we're excited to see that, yes, they in fact passed the Stop Chinese Fentanyl Act. It passed, Allie, 407 to 4. We're going to roll this clip and then tell you who the 4 were that couldn't get on the right side of this issue. Roll.
This is a vote on the motion of the gentleman from Washington, Mr. Baumgardner, to suspend the rules and pass H.R. 747 as amended, on which the yeas and nays are ordered. The clerk will report the title.
H.R. 747, a bill to impose sanctions with respect to Chinese producers of synthetic opioids and opioid precursors, to hold Chinese officials accountable for the spread of illicit fentanyl and for other purposes.
The question is, will the House suspend the rules and pass the bill as amended? Members will record their votes by electronic device. This is a 5-minute vote. On this vote, the yeas are 407, the nays are 4. 2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended. The bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
407 to 4. So a majority of people have brains, and 4 of them have ulterior motives. Here they are. This is going to not shock you at all. The 4 that did not want to stop the CCP from poisoning the United States through synthetic fentanyl were Representative Nancy Pelosi, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, Representative Ilhan Omar, and Representative Rashid Tlaib. Shocker. I know. I just can't. Tell me that you don't have investments with that. You have investments with the CCP without telling me that you're.
Tell me you don't care about your constituents without telling me you don't care about your constituents. Like, your constituents in your areas are literally the ones that are suffering the most because of this. Like, so I don't understand where the disconnect is, and they need to be replaced. Like, time now, especially Pelosi. She's like gearing towards 200, and we need her to get out of office.
200 years old, but very like wonderful McDonald's shaped eyebrows. I don't know how she does that. It looks like she's shocked 24/7. She's obviously a Democrat out of California. AOC, Democrat out of New York. You know, I think as soon as Brandon Strzok's done with the mayoral candidate race there, maybe
we can figure out how to replace AOC. That would be great, actually.
That would be great. We will work with you on that. You've got Ilhan Omar, who's from Minnesota. Obviously, Tampon Tim Walz is the governor there. There's lots of cleanup to happen there. And Rashid Tlaib is in Minnesota. You know, her district is largely now Muslim, Islamic. So we believe that's kind of how she continues to get reelected there. So I don't know, very uphill battle there. But again, it doesn't matter what nationality you are, what race you are, what color you are, what sexual origin you are, what religion you are. It's synthetic opioids. It's poisoning people. Like how? What?
Well, and then like, why are we? If we know where it's coming from, why are we allowing? Like, that is an act of war. You are literally sending poison across our border to kill Americans. Like, I don't. There's no other reason for you to peddle drugs into a country other than to kill people. Like, you make them addicted and then you have them overdose. Yeah, you're overriding their own inhibitions, which is why they're drug addicts, right? But it's just I don't understand. I don't understand.
One of the reasons why I'm so grateful that the Trump administration has chosen to move cartels and criminal organizations like that into the terrorist organizations. That was like step one, but it's manufactured and China's mainland with the help of the CCP. We've never, because of international law, we've never really been able to go after them for that. This was an act of Congress to say, you know what? We are going to go after them and hold them accountable. So it might be interesting, Allie, as we start that process now of being able to go after those in China that are behind this. Will there be tentacles that reach back into Pelosi, AOC, Omar? I mean, why would they not vote for this? It makes you wonder what kind of investments they have.
Maybe Doge should do a special investigation on their finances to figure out who's donating to their camp. Honestly, it really just takes an investigative journalist to figure this out. All you have to do is look at their campaign statements, their campaign finance statements, and figure out who is owned by who, right? What companies are giving the max amount to their PACs, or what companies are donating to their campaigns or their political PACs, political action committee, whatever it is. You guys
so a little bit,
and then figure out like if they're connected to the CCP, and then that needs to stop. I don't know how we squash the foreign influence in our elections as far as donations go. But that needs to stop. But what also needs to stop is we need to stop the CCP from developing curriculum and passing it on as if it's an American company, and then infiltrating into our schools, whether it's private school, charter school, or our public schools. I already know that they're a part of it in our private schools.
You're
It's
right.
just well under the radar. So if they're teaching our children how to hate America and how to participate in a color revolution, that's war.
It's
They're
war
never going to
from the
do a
inside out.
kinetic war. It's all
Well, and
it's all cultural.
And Allie, you know, if we had, remember, I remember my parents and grandparents talking about, um, especially my grandpa, about World War II, about the bombing of Pearl Harbor,
Yeah.
and how at that time we were on a high alert here in this nation, terrified that our coastline could potentially be invaded in a ground invasion. There was, you know, there's just so much we didn't know. And today, it's like we have to get our feathers ruffled, if you will, of the fact that this is a different type of invasion. If they're not gonna put boots on the ground, you know, like Red Dawn. I mean, I don't think that's really gonna happen. But will they flood our country with opioids and, you know, a synthetic version of fentanyl that's gonna, I mean, just the smallest little tip of a ballpoint pen is enough to kill a stadium full of people in high school. So that this is so potent. This is the new, like you said, it is the new color revolution. This is the new war, and it should be treated as an act of war.
I agree.
Love it, Allie.
And now
Well,
that they're deemed terrorists, I mean, I don't see why not. It's a cartel. It's the CCP cartel. That's really what it is.
I still can't believe, Allie, that we are in less than a year into this administration and we are rolling
I know it's crazy.
with the foot on the gas pedal. So let's talk a little bit, let's pivot a little bit to a story that we covered almost a year ago, Allie, and it was the Tina Peters trial out in Colorado. Of course, she worked for the supervisor of elections there. Her job was to take in intake when people had complaints about potential voter fraud, whether if it be the machines, whether it be the tabulators, whether it be the ballots, mail-in, what have you. Her job was to take that information in, sort of run a little bit of a diagnostic, and then turn it over to the powers to be. She did exactly that. They later went on and tried her to say that she was tampering with the machines. We had people from the inside right here with Open Mic that were on the ground covering that trial. It's been surprising that Trump didn't have a lot to say at the time, although it's a state case, so why would he federally have a say? But Allie, it turns out this played a role in his decision to move the Space Force out of Colorado. Take a listen, then we'll talk about it.
They arrested her instead of the people that did the cheating. It's a state charge, so it's hard to do anything with. But we're gonna do something. What they did in Colorado. Look, Colorado just went to all mail-in voting. That means they cheat. That's why they lost. That's one of the reasons, but that's a big reason why they just lost the whole Space Command situation that is going to Alabama. But when you have mail-in voting, you have nothing but cheating. But this woman is a real patriot, and they put her in jail for a long time. She's 72 years old, 73 years old, and she wanted to find out. She didn't do anything. She touched the machine. She looked at the machine. She's trying to find out what was going on, and they went and arrested her for doing that. And it was supposed to be the other way around. I'm glad you brought that up. They should let her go, let her out. Thank you. Yeah, please.
Thank goodness, because this woman has been sitting in jail, and we've all been trying to figure out what is going on with her. When pardons came down, obviously we understand that pardons can only be done on a federal level and not
Right.
like a state case. So we understood that. We kind of broke that down to our audience. Hopefully that everybody watching understood that as well. But now he's being able to look into it. I think that there needs to be something to be done for sure, because this just can't happen. How are you in jail for doing your job? I don't like what.
Right, and so the interesting thing is the attorney general that went after her was later caught. Actually, I think she's got charges pending on her for something that she did throughout the election cycle there. So you know, it's that old analogy. They accuse you of doing the very thing that they are doing. I think anybody who, if you want more information, guys, we're going to update our Open Mic website with the content that we shot a year ago, really, with you know, with our friends going there on the ground during during the hearing. She did not get a fair trial, really. And I think this is something that needs to be looked into, because what will happen, Allie, is good people will start to do nothing, because they'll say, I'm not going to get in trouble. I'm not going to lose my job. I'm not going to get.
That's exactly what they want. I mean, we talked about this when Brandon Strock was on our show. Like,
Yeah.
this is literally what they want. They want you to sit down. They want you to shut up. They want you to be quiet. They don't want you to participate. They don't want you to call your reps. They don't want you to run for office. They don't want you to watch the elections. They don't want you to report anything you see. Why? So they can get away with it.
Yeah.
You have to keep your eyes on it. If not, it just gets, they expect the American people to be so busy and so bogged down with everyday things that 15 minutes engaging, or 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour that you would be spending scrolling on Netflix or binge watching Netflix or scrolling on your phone on TikTok or any of the other social media platforms, they expect you to engage in all that. But if you just take that time that you're spending on that and put it towards being civically active to protect your right to your freedoms in your own backyard, you can actually move the needle. It may not seem like you're doing it right, like right then, but I promise you, if you keep at it and you get 10 of your friends to do it, 5 of your friends to do it, your family members to do it, your cousins, your aunts, your sisters, somebody, you'll move the needle eventually.
You will. You will. And that's why I loved having Brandon on Friday, because he just lights that fire under the base. This should light a fire somewhere. Let's see a show of hands for our viewers out there, and those listening on Spotify. Keep at least one hand on the wheel if you're driving. But how many of us knew, Allie, well into the Biden administration, even before the election, before some of the debates with him and Trump, how many of us knew there was some sort of decline, cognitive, mental, physical decline with Joe Biden, President Biden? And then, we all knew, right? Y'all better be raising your hands. Well, apparently now there is a committee that's looking into who knew what and who was running what. And I love this because it's sort of a gotcha moment here in the hallway as Joe Biden's deputy press secretary. Listen, the press secretary works arm in arm with the administration. It should be talking to the president at least 3 times a day, right? Morning, noon, and night, just to get updated before they go in for a press conference. This is Andrew Bates. He was being talked to in the hallway. They're trying to ask him about this. Let's take a listen.
Did President Biden truly run the White House?
Good morning, Andrew. Caitlin Hughes, the Washington Examiner. Do you have any just opening remarks before you walk in today about your cooperation with the committee? Anything you want to say? Anything about, how Biden's doing currently right now?
I hope when I'm walking the halls of Congress and when I'm walking the hall, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm hoping that when I walk the halls of our Capitol in Florida and when I'm walking the halls in Congress in DC, that I can have an RBF like that. I want to know what he's thinking, because I speak in subtitles. My face speaks in subtitles sometimes, so I'm a little nervous about that. But like, I want to know what he's thinking walking through there. Like, are you singing a song in your head? Like, are you like zippity doo dah? What are you doing? You're being asked pertinent questions about a president who you served under, and asking a very important question about his cognitive abilities that everybody seemed to have, I don't know, some kind of rose-colored glasses on, or were black shades because everybody pretended like they were blind and didn't see it. What are you thinking about, sir?
Well, and there was definitely some kind of cover-up. I think that's what they're getting to the bottom of. I love this video, which was originally shared by John Basham. Somebody commented, if he walks in the rain with his nose up that high, he'll drown.
Wow. Okay. All right. There you go. That bothers me so much, where you just feel like nobody deserves your response, or is deserving of an answer. I think that is crazy. The American people deserve an answer. I don't think
they deserve an answer, and I think the American people know the answer. So we're all shocked that it's taken people in politics this long to understand something that we see as common sense, Allie.
Well, government moves like a sloth. Seriously, have you ever been to the DMV? Like, they did not get that wrong in Zootopia. That poor sloth at the DMV. That is literally how government operations work.
The DMV.
It's the Department of War. Like, the Department of War, it's like, it's go time. And they're like, roger that. And then explosion. That's what happens.
That's my favorite scene in that movie. Let's pivot a little bit to talk about the Department of Education as it was under the Biden and Harris regime. Allie, you and I worked really close through not only school board elections, but you with what you do through Moms for America, really training and equipping people to go out and run for school board, but then also giving them the tools once they're elected. Amazing. If you guys aren't already a part of Moms for America, you don't have to be a mom to be a part of Moms for America.
MomsForAmerica.com. You guys can go. We have cottage meetings. We have cottage meetings for kids. We have Liberty Kids, Liberty trips for America 250. We're doing America 250 tour. We are literally the only ones that are doing the America 250 tour. There's so many resources. We have school district ambassadors. We have civic engagement. I mean, we are literally the hub for all things liberty, freedom, faith, finance, all the things. So
it's amazing. You should have just never upset the moms because now they're an active voter base. But this is
the
breaking.
Largest active voter base, by the
right?
way.
This is just
and you're welcome.
Mom.
Thanks to the moms. Yeah.
Just ask a mom what happens when you mess with her babies. So this was breaking. The Department of Education just found. I'm going to put this document up. I know it's kind of probably going to be hard for you to read at home. We'll go through a little bit of it. But the Department of Education just found out now. This is Linda McMahon and them at the Department of Education found out that the Biden regime was in fact weaponizing the department to target Christians. It says the Biden administration weaponized the DOE and attempted to impose record-breaking fines on some of the nation's largest Christian universities. Guys, this is including Liberty University. They tried to go after them for $14 million. Grand Canyon University, that's a large online base. They also played a role within the education department. They investigated school boards for removing age-appropriate materials from school libraries that had a religious reference to that. We also know that they went after moms like Allie and I for coming to the school board meetings and speaking up on some of the inappropriate material. And let's just say it was soft porn that was in the libraries. And I'm not talking about.
And some of the books aren't even soft porn. Some of the books are full-blown porn. Like
they have like drawings of kids doing stuff. It's not okay. It's not okay. So this is further vindication that you were right. We were right in asking the question, but I have to ask you guys, who doubles down on this? What is their motive to double down on something as perverse and disgusting as this? Is it a war against Christianity?
No, it's never about the issue. It's always about the cause. What is the cause? To dismantle America. Guys, we have to go back to the 10 commandments of communism. I mean, it's 47 rules of communism that were introduced into the congressional record in 1947, I believe it was. And it's like, I can't remember how many rules.
It was read into congressional record.
50 rules or something like that of communism. You have to go through that. It's never about the issue. It's Marxism is what it is. That's just Marxism, socialism, communism. It's all a part of the same devil, right? It's all a part of the same evil. It's all a part of the same concept, right? Which is complete destruction and takeover. That's what the goal was. And if you can mold the minds of the future and make them docile and make them not courageous and remove the hope, which is what Christianity provides, with what the walk with Christ is hope and faith, right? In the unseen and the unknown, but having a full belief in things that you cannot control because you can't see them. But full trust in the Lord, the God of the universe, who's the architect of all things. So, of course, that you want to dismantle that in order for you to be able to control the population. Yes. America's mostly Christian. So, how do you end up controlling a population that has a hope that can't be destroyed? You destroy it through education by getting the youngest minds to rise up against their parents. It is literally what happened with the Red Guard in China, Mao's China. That's what happened. It was the younger children
they turned on their own families, right? They turned on their own.
They would turn their parents in.
Yeah.
I mean, Hitler did the same exact thing. Mao just was better at it because he killed more people. Not saying that that's a good thing. Just pointing facts out.
Well, and I love that you point out, Allie, that your faith, and you have the freedom to practice what that faith is here, but your faith and your freedom and free will can never coexist. And that's why I hate these coexist bumper stickers. Can never coexist in any of the isms, Maoism, communism, Marxism. It has to be eradicated. And so when you see people trying to wage war on your free will, your freedom of speech, all the wonderful things that our Constitution provides and solidifies that your rights are inalienable. They come from God, not from government.
Right.
And your practice of your faith. The reason those are the things they attack, as Allie's saying.
And wait, let me tell you where you can find that in the Bible. Deuteronomy. Go read the book. It is literally the blueprint. Like, it's not hard. Just read it. Take it in digestible bites if you have to. You don't have to start at the beginning. Start with Mark, Luke, and John. Start there. Right?
And then make sure you make it to Acts, because
you got to make it to Acts. But Deuteronomy is literally the law of the land. So if you go into the law of the land, you understand where your rights come from. We have the right to defend ourselves, our property, and the things that we own, the things that we love, our families, right? That is the Second Amendment. Our founding fathers, and listen, this is why you need to take our cottage meetings for Moms for America, because we literally go through this. We go through the 5,000-year leap. We go through what the actual documents say, whether it's journal writings or letters that our founding fathers wrote to their wives or their daughters.
Federalist Papers, right?
Right. The Federalist Papers, Anti-Federalist Papers. You can really understand where they got the information and the inspiration to build the American Constitution the way it is, the protections that we have here in America. And it came from the Bible. That's where it came from. So I need y'all to just pick up the book and read it.
Pick it up and read it. Guys, we are going to take just a quick commercial break. We want you to hear from our sponsors, but when we come back, we're going to cover the story that you're really not going to hear anywhere else. Irina Zarutska, young lady escaping Ukraine and the Ukrainian war, only to be slaughtered in the streets of mainstream America here. We'll cover that in just a moment. More open mic right after this.
From the heart of Marietta, Georgia, comes a tribute to the spirit of liberty. Liberty Cigars, where history meets craftsmanship. Each cigar tells a story. The Founders Collection honors the visionaries who shaped a nation. The President's House Collection celebrates the leaders who steered it. And the Naval Series salutes the heroes who defended it. Handcrafted with precision, each blend mirrors the essence of its namesake. From the boldness of George Washington to the elegance of Thomas Jefferson. Indulge in a moment of reflection. Light a Liberty cigar and savor the legacy. Discover your story at libertycigars.com, because every great nation deserves a great cigar. Liberty Cigars, smoke the history. And don't forget to use promo code OpenMic for 10% off your order.
Gold IRA companies are a dime a dozen, especially in conservative media. We vetted out 34 companies and chose Augusta Precious Metals.
With the lowest across-the-board spreads in the gold IRA industry, Augusta saves Americans thousands of dollars.
They are the only major gold IRA company that has zero complaints from their customers. Zero. None. Augusta Precious Metals does not have commissioned sales reps, which means their goals are aligned with yours.
They were the only gold IRA company that demonstrated integrity and transparency without using gimmicks.
The informative one-on-one web conferences by Augusta Precious Metals answer all of their customers' questions before they make a move.
If you're ready to learn about protecting your wealth and retirement with gold and silver, request your free gold guide from Augusta Precious Metals today.
Visit patriot.tv/gold. That's patriot.tv/gold today.
All right, welcome back to Open Mic with Allie and Michelle. Make sure you guys are following us. Hit that subscribe button so you can get the notifications, whether it's on Rumble, YouTube, wherever you're listening or watching. Make sure you get those notifications, because we're here, Allie, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern live, so you guys can get your daily dose of what's going on. Allie, this next story is, I'm just going to tell our viewers, it's not easy to watch and it's not easy to see. Obviously, violence is a heart issue. Hate is a heart issue. This next story will prove to you that it's not the gun's fault when somebody's murdered, because there was no gun used in this. But nobody's talking about this. I want to show a still image. Everything we're showing on this case is going to be very redacted, because just for our viewers. But this is the moment before the stabbing of this I mean, this girl had no idea this was coming. 23-year-old Irina Zarutska. She was in Charlotte, North Carolina, riding what they call light rail, so sort of like a high-speed train. This guy cuts her throat open. He's a repeat offender with 14 arrests. He's got a rap sheet longer than my arm. It's he shouldn't even be out right now, but that was the moment before her life was taken. The stories go on to say that she came here from Ukraine for safety to avoid and to have a better life. Really, came here legally. Let's just put that in there. So this is a disgusting story. But what's worse is that nobody is talking about it. I think I saw Real America's Voice did something on it this morning.
Well, so not only is the mainstream media not covering it, all of like even Wikipedia, all of the search engines, all of the newspapers, the print news are not covering it either. Literally zero mentions of this situation. And it it's really disheartening because if we can sit here and argue, the left likes to argue that if you can give someone as a drug dealer drugs and that drug dealer can go to jail for an overdose of someone choosing to take something to the extent of that they overdose, right? Which I don't think should apply. That is your choice. You are making the choice. You are an addict. Nobody is forcing you to go buy the drug. That is your choice to do so. So if you OD, you are an adult. And even I get it when it comes to kids, but kids need to stop leading to peer pressure, and that's a parent issue. That's not a drug dealer issue. The drug deal, we're not suing doctors, and we're not, putting doctors in jail for killing patients I mean, they're getting away with killing hundreds of thousands of people with COVID in their protocols. So why are we going to arrest drug dealers, right? But if that is your argument, we're going to arrest drug dealers for the fact that, the drug addicts are killing themselves. Why are we not allowing the arrest of judges who are putting out criminals back on the street and they're committing crimes?
I like that analogy, Allie. And I will say, even I think, and we may, it may shock some people to know that Allie and I sometimes differ. Go figure. But that is a great argument to make. It's a pipeline, right? It's a pipeline to the crime, and that's why I actually think drug dealers should be. You're selling drugs. It's illegal. I don't care who.
No, for sure, they should be arrested. I mean, you should be arrested for selling the drugs. Yes.
And if you look at and this is where people think, that there's some kind of a stepladder to the types of crimes that are committed. You don't understand. People that routinely 14 times commit heinous crimes, whether it's armed robbery. I'm looking at his rap sheet here. Armed robbery charges were dropped on the armed robbery. They decided not to investigate anymore. He has a criminal record even back to when he was a minor. So this calls into question, how do we handle minors? Because we want to give them a second chance. We think are they too young to really know what they've done? But this is actually making the case for the opposite, that if you don't really get a hold of a minor at that age to really try to reprimand what the direction they're headed, this can just spill over into the bleeding of innocent life. We do have a video here I want you guys to see. Now, we're not going to show the actual killing, but I want you to see, because this just shows you that this is somebody, Irina was just somebody who was going about her day. Think about how much she's got headphones in. I know our kids are always scrolling, just really not thinking twice about who she's sitting next to. Now, if she wouldn't have sat there, people would have argued it's because she was racist, right? Like that. These are things that come to my mind when I jump on, or have a seat somewhere in public. Clearly is thinking about it and just in a moment.
What is going through your mind, sir?
And then walks through with blood dripping, and this is where it's like, at some point, I mean, why didn't he snap on anybody else? Why didn't anybody see something? And I don't know. It's alarming. And it's alarming because we do need to remain vigilant. And now we need to be telling our college students, and we need to be telling our students, our kids, to remain vigilant. But I want to bring up one other point. It wasn't but a year and a half ago that another incident took place on public transportation. This was, of course, in New York City, and I'm talking about the Daniel Penny case, where this former military saw something that was taking place. He puts the perpetrator in a chokehold and later found himself fighting for his life. Literally, he obviously was found not guilty of criminally negligent homicide because the guy he put in a chokehold ended up dying. But he was the good guy that got involved. Everybody screamed racism. Everybody screamed excessive force. Everybody screamed about this. Yet this.
So what was the motive for this dude? Like, what was it? And I want to touch on something that you said about getting kids. You know, he was a minor when he was first arrested, and like you're trying to get to the kids before they become, worse. We have a rehabilitation problem in America.
Yes.
We're using like this, the whole criminal justice system. Like, I know that Republicans and conservatives, they hear the word reform and like they want to like, because you know what I'm saying? Like, because we've heard it so much and nothing has ever come of it.
Yeah.
And it's like just this like catchphrase word, this buzzword that politicians like to use. They like to throw it around like they're actually doing something. But we have a problem with mental health. We have a problem with therapists. We have a problem with our doctors. And we have a problem with our criminal justice system when you have these quote unquote rehabilitation centers and they're not rehabilitating anybody. You're putting these teenagers into these I call them like they're like camps, honestly. They're criminal camps. You learn how to be a better criminal when you go into these camps with these kids, these youth centers. They're not teaching them anything. They're not helping them get over anything. They're not helping them figure out how to problem solve. They're not helping them figure out how to properly read, because most of these kids that are in these prison systems can't read. And so they get in trouble.
And then they're not prepared to really be a productive member of society, right? So this is actually, we've talked about judges that abuse their power. So this is a misuse of power or dereliction of duty, really, by these judges, because somebody that's been in front of your docket 14 times, and I'm not talking about 14 times in multiple states across the nation. Nobody put the pieces together. It was all done within the same jurisdiction. So how is this person coming before your bench 14 times and not being behind bars for life at some point? I know people don't like to think about not giving people second chances, or people can be rehabilitated. We have to come to grips with something in this country, whether you're a person of faith or not. I don't want to debate that topic with you. I'm saying that there is, in fact, evil in this world. If you can't see it for what it is, it's pure evil. I don't know that you're going to medicate it. I don't know that you're going to rehabilitate it, but you can put it away so that the rest of society can actually live a purposeful life. This is a slain, young, beautiful woman for what? For what? Because our judicial system failed her. This could have happened to her in Ukraine. We wouldn't have even known her, right? You cry and cry about sending money to Ukraine and helping the people of Ukraine. She helped. She was helped. She was brought to this country legally to die in such an inhumane way, and for nobody on that transportation system to do anything. My heart is that if my child, and this has happened, if they've been broken down on the side of the road or need help somewhere, that there is a good Samaritan nurse, off-duty police officer, somebody that stops by. We hope and pray that these people surround our children while they go about, especially as young adults do along their lives. But this just can't happen. We've got to have judicial reform.
Literally was on my way to church one weekend and witnessed a fatal motorcycle accident. I stopped because we were at the red light. I pulled my car over, put it in park, and got out to check on the motorcyclist, who is actually a teenager. He was just graduated high school, riding his bike on Sunday morning, gets crashes into someone else, and it was a hot mess. But what happened? I got out the car and I provided assistance. Why? Because somebody needed to. Everybody else is standing around just looking at him, just like in a circle. And I'm like, wait, it's on fire, and it's close to the tank. So if we don't get the fire out, everybody's going to blow. Like, we're right next to the gas station. The fire's close to the gas tank on his bike. Like, somebody's got to do something. So yeah. And I don't know if that's training. I don't know if that's just something that's within me, but
military.
If you see something, you like something like that, like I for the life of me, I feel you. I would love I pray for that every day, that somebody with enough calm and courage is around when there's a situation, because that can help in these
Yeah.
in these situations. When good people do nothing, more of this continues,
Evil
and I don't
persists.
understand why
Evil
we're
persists.
not.
Exactly. I don't know if we have this. I'm just talking to the tech group. Have the picture of her also from that post. If we don't have it, that's okay. We'll get it. We'll touch on the story again tomorrow. But I do want to show Donald Trump. You know, so traveling around the country and around the world, hadn't yet seen or heard about this. This was early yesterday. A reporter stops him, asks him about it, and he pledges to get to the bottom of it. Take a listen. Oh.
You've seen this video, and do you have any reaction to it? Yeah, and where was it? The subway was where? She was in Charlotte on a light train. She stabbed multiple times by a... Horrible. No, I haven't heard. Okay. When did this happen? It happened in August, but the video just came out. I see, yeah. I see the video. I'll know all about it by tomorrow morning. Thank you. Yeah.
Wow.
Pledging on a Sunday to know all about it by tomorrow morning. So I'm talking about it's a difference in leadership. Thank God that Trump's in there. But you know, I think this should be something that every mayor, every state legislator, every city and county commissioner should really be looking at the crime that's happening in there. Right there, there's a look at that beautiful.
Well, and even Axios is saying the stabbing video fuels MAGA's crime message. Like, this is Axios. This is the propaganda that we are subject to by our media. This is Project Mockingbird right here. Right here. You can see it. They lay out the narrative for you right here, and they expect you to not go deeper than the headline. They expect you not to read the headline. They expect you not to investigate. They expect you to be too busy to give a shit. Now's the time to care.
Absolutely. Irina Zarutska is her name. You could see her picture there. You can see the mugshots, too numerous to even count right there. And we're asking why. We're asking many questions. Why?
I want
why
the
is this
judge
person
in handcuffs. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, this judge needs to be disbarred. He needs to be removed. He needs to be locked away and never allowed, like, to ever preside over anything ever again in government, period. Nothing.
And Allie, you and I get called out a lot on race issues, which is odd because we both are so mixed. It's like a bottle of Heinz 57, but so mixed. But yet you and I both know the race card should not be played here. But if those races were reversed, we would be here. This would be the next George Floyd. There would be cities already burning. We're not calling for that. We're just saying, please understand, this is getting silenced for a reason. And we're not, MAGA is not calling, or American First or common sense is not calling for any kind of outburst or any kind of further violence. We're actually calling for the exact opposite. Can we talk about situations like this and realize that we have a problem, as Allie said, with our Department of Justice? This is, I'll be grateful to hear what Trump has to say about this. There is some good news coming up. I just want to show this quick little blurb here from Florida's Voice. FBI Director Kash Patel does confirm, this is in Tampa, the Tampa FBI raid has resulted in arrest of 9 members of the violent street gang Hood Boys, and it's linked to the Sinaloa cartel. Oh my God, right here in Florida.
In Tampa, no less. Right? Ooh. Like, a couple of years ago when we were out like campaigning and we were trying to talk to local sheriffs, we were told that this was not a problem.
It's not here.
It's not an issue here. It's not an issue here. It's not an issue here. Don't worry about it. It's not an issue here. We're on it. We're taking care of it. It's not an issue here. But story after story after story after story after story after story, we're learning that we've been right. And it's not like we want to be right. And it's not like we're tooting our own horns here. We're thankful that this is what's happening and that this is occurring. But imagine if this was the operation 2-3 years ago. And I get that the whole deportation thing has been a problem because of the prior administration. I 100% agree with that. I understand why there's been a lapse of action here. But I am glad that we do have the leadership we do have in Florida because they're actually getting things done here. And we're leading in so many ways for the rest of the nation. It just makes me excited to be a Floridian. And I'm thankful for our Sheriff's Department in Hillsborough County to actually have gotten this done, and the FBI
and to work in cooperation with the FBI. Absolutely. Listen, we've said this before on our show. We want to make sure you guys are following not only at Open Mic Ladies on all social media platforms, but if you're not following at at Jen Flynn is what he goes by, General Michael Flynn. If you're not following him, you need to, or we'll try to break it to you too. But he came out yesterday with a very strong message on social media. He says, "Where are the indictments and arrests? We the people have seen and heard enough. We want action now." What is he referring to? There's a clip here. I love John Solomon. He does his own independent journalism. He obtained a Freedom of Information Act, a FOIA request, and had this to say about it. Let's roll the video, and then we'll talk about it.
A short while ago, Just the News obtained this email. This is a very important email. It comes from the former CIA director, Mike Morrell. Yes, the guy that organized that letter from the 51 intelligence professionals who tried to fake you into thinking that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation when it wasn't. It is between him and John Brennan, one of the signatories. You know who John Brennan is? He was Obama's CIA director, right? He's the guy that told Obama, hey, Hillary Clinton is doing a dirty trick on Donald Trump called Russia collusion. Well, this is just before the presidential debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Hunter Biden's laptop is flinging out there. This is what Mike Morrell, former CIA director, tells his successor, John Brennan, hey, sign this letter because I'm, quote, trying to give the campaign, particularly during the debate on Thursday, a talking point to push back on Trump on this issue. A man with a security clearance, a man with the title of CIA director, knew that he wasn't creating an intelligence product, a mere civic duty with 51 people. He was trying to create a political moment. Damning evidence. We'll try to find out if Congress has this letter, but this is a very important piece. It is the ultimate proof that what went out on that letter was a political dirty trick coordinated with the Biden campaign.
I mean, I love this. Thank God for FOIA requests. This is how we find out everything because they're not going to just sit around and tell you the truth. But this just goes to show that you've got people working, understanding that they're working with a campaign, the Clinton campaign, to fabricate information and then sell it to you, as really, again, thanks to the Smith-Mundt Act that allows them to do this, to lie to you and put propaganda against the American people. This, we haven't seen the last of this, right, Allie?
No, absolutely not. I think there's definitely going to be more information that comes out about this. We've been privy to a little bit of that, and we can't speak on it. But when it does come out, I'm sure it's going to be even more tantalizing because this is just crazy. It's like so mind blowing that you would even think that our government would be capable of something like this. I mean, those of us that have been kind of involved in slid down that rabbit hole, we understand, but
it's so true.
Like with the hat, like we're all mad here. It's okay.
So I know we're going to kind of move a little quickly because it's like we're ladies and we talk too much. I don't know, we're running out of time. There are a couple of call to actions that have been put together. I want to make sure you guys understand. I want you to visit. We'll put this up on our C4 website. The Hollow, HOLLOW Alliance.com, thehollowalliance.com. There's two asks that we're going to ask from you. Brandon Strock, who was on our show, Allie, on Friday, is asking for video clips, 3 to 5 minute video clips. If you are formerly from a communist country, and now you're here in the United States, and you could speak firsthand to why somebody like Mamdani should not be anywhere close to a seat in New York City as mayor. He's asking that you send those clips. So I want to make sure you guys go to thehollowalliance.com later this afternoon. We will have the link to do that. I also want to make sure we touch base, Allie, on Moms for America. Yep. If you want to quickly let them know about the call to action that Moms for America is having with this opt-out form.
Yes. So the opt-out form is important. It's for mental health screenings. They're doing these through surveys, and you need to make sure that you are opting out of the surveys. You can go to momsforamerica.com and find your opt-out form there. So that'll be very helpful for you.
And we're going to, again, at thehollowalliance.com, we're going to have a link to that. It'll link you right to that form. Make sure you opt out. It's not the school's business. And it's a shame that we have to have a mom group like this to air this out and bring it to light. But thank God for Moms for America and what they do. If we could skip in the control room, I want to go to the second Trump video. Trump at the U.S. Open. If we could go there, this was kind of fun to see.
He's signing I have never seen the U.S. Open that full, the stadium that full. No, I'm kidding. I mean, it has been. There are a lot of tennis fans.
You get a hat. You get a hat.
But I do think that it's quite incredible that you have President Trump. It's literally wherever he goes, he brings a massive crowd. The lines to get in to the US Open were like wrapped around the building. It was insane. It was insane. So
I love it.
he's
All the
welcomed
winning.
everywhere. Don't believe the news.
I think America cherishes him for that, Allie, right? We cherish him for what he's done. He's going to go down in history as, our grandkids will be reading it. I hope, because we're going to have to play a hand now in writing history books because they're not going to tell it the right way.
I do not have the bandwidth to do this. Like I can't fix all the things. We need everybody to jump on board here. Like if writing is that your thing, then create curriculum that actually is the truth about what's going on here. Somebody
And here's the
develop
thing.
the good history that's happening since President Trump has been in office.
And here's the thing. I can remember, again, my grandpa telling me about, and my uncles who served in the military, just like you, Allie, telling me stories about literal trenches that they were engaged in for warfare. This is the trench. The trench is your schools, your school district. The trench is the textbooks. The trench is making sure that your families understand. The trench is it's on our soil now. We cannot abandon ship. So what our forefathers and what our ancestors fought for, the fight still continues here. It's just done a little bit differently. Guys, you all play a role in this. Allie, I can't believe we're out of time, but I would tell our viewers to make sure they join us tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern.
Yes, and we are going to be in Spaces tonight after the David Pollock show. So join us at 8 p.m. On X Spaces. Yes. We're going to be discussing all of the things. Trust me, you will not want to miss this space.
If you're local here in Florida, we are going to be at in Charlotte County with the Trump Club. So if you'd like more information, make sure you go to openmicladies.com, openmicladies.com. Allie?
And one more thing, if you live in Hillsborough County, there's a school board meeting tomorrow. They're voting on pornographic material. Why are we still doing this, Hillsborough County? I don't freaking know. The law is very, very clear. Maybe it's because we have 2 conservatives and 4 or 5 Democrat socialists that sit on our board. This is why your school board races are important. In 2026, they're up. So please go vote. But yes, come out to Hillsborough County School Board. They are having a meeting tomorrow to vote on pornographic books. It is important that you do that.
Thank you, guys.
Put the information down in the comments. Thanks, guys, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
See you tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.
Is high, inflation's up in the sky. Red hat stays on, red hat stays on. And I don't care how they look at me in the deepest heart of a blue city. Red hat stays on, red hat stays on. And I know when you smile, you like what you see. If you love America, you'll agree. Red hat stays on, red hat stays on.